Next up, we're going to hear from today's race winner of the 16th annual DAV 200 honoring America's veterans NASCAR Nationwide Series race. We got a race winner, Brad Keselowski, crew chief Jeremy Bullins, and car owner Roger Penske. Good to see you. Brad, congratulations on this win out here today. You drove the number 22 Discount Tire Ford for Team Penske, and certainly made a great move there at the end. Kyle was in here a little while ago. I think you acknowledged that Kyle certainly had the car to beat, but when the race was on the line, the 22 car answered the bell and got to that car. And just talk about that move that you put on to win this race here today. That's your 32nd Nationwide Series victory, by the way, and I'm told that's 5th all time in a very short period of time. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, Kerry. You know, it was kind of a long day. I thought Kyle was really, really good, and you know, if you'd have told me we were going to pass him on the last restart, I would have, you know, probably not thought that was going to be the case. You know, I tried everything I could in turn one, and I couldn't keep pace with him. And you know, I don't know what happened in 3 and 4, but I was able to get beside him coming off of 4 here, and it was a drag race into 1, and we were able to get out front, and from there it was just bringing her home. So you know, I think we have a great team. And, you know, this is my last race of the season driving the 22 car. It's been a heck of a year. As it was last year, we've won, 5 out of 10 races I've been in the car with a lot of seconds, thirds, fourths. So it's been incredible. I thought last year was great, but this year has been just as good. So I'm proud to have these opportunities. You know, it wasn't too many years ago where I was in a back marker nationwide car. So to be in a front-running car and to have great pit crews, a great crew chief, and obviously a great team owner to provide all the resources, you know, that's the type of results you get from it. So I'm proud to be a part of it, and you know, it's been a phenomenal year. I'm going to remember this one for a long time. Good deal. And Jeremy, just talk about when you guys got here a couple days ago, and maybe some of the improvements you made to the car, and certainly just an excellent team effort here today for the number 22 Discount Tire Ford.
Yeah, certainly. I'm not going to lie to you, we weren't very good yesterday. So we were almost late getting an inspection line this morning. We changed so many things just to try to get close. And obviously we got it a lot better. We weren't quite as good as a 54. We knew our only shot was, you know, hoping for a late caution, give Brad a chance to do his thing, and it worked out. So hats off to all the guys. They worked really hard on the car to get it better this weekend. Everybody made really good decisions, put their heads together, and came up with a good plan for the day. And, you know, worked out for us, and I'm just really proud of the effort, and really proud of Brad's effort and what Roger gives us to work with.
Thank you, Jeremy. And Roger, certainly Brad Keselowski shows up at money time. And I know that's the kind of drivers that you have had in your stable over the years. So just talk about him and his ability to perform when the pressure's on like he did here today. And he has done so much this season.
Well, obviously, I congratulate Brad and the whole team for what they've accomplished so far this year. You know, we're racing for the Car Owners Championship in Nationwide, and, you know, every point counts, and, you know, we're racing with Kyle every weekend. So, you know, to me, this was a doubleheader for us. First, you know, have Brad have a chance to run on the track on Saturday. That was probably the focus, and then obviously, you know, on the championship. But I think Jeremy, you know, he's got a driving school going on here. Everybody gets in the car wins. And, you know, obviously today improved that again. I think, you know, Brad knows how to go when it's time. I think he's a thinking driver. You could see it out there when he has to chill out and just wait until he gets to make a pit stop and make a change. But, you know, as we saw last week and again this week, he's the guy to beat. You know, we're 150% behind him. He makes the right moves. He's a smart driver. And obviously he's not afraid to stand on the gas. And that's, as he said, that's what he gets paid the big bucks for.
Thank you. We'll take questions now. If you have one, we'll go to the gentleman all the way in the back, then we'll go to Tom, and then we'll go to Chris. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, Brad, on your victory. My question for you is, we saw last year with Matt Kenseth, you know, admitted that he probably shouldn't have run the Nationwide race because he wasn't as prepared for the Sprint Cup Series race. With the win today, how are you looking? How do you prepare yourself better? How do you avoid you know, what Matt did last year?
Well, you know, I can't really speak for Matt, but you know, for our program, as it is with anything we do. It's about being surrounded by great people. Now, on the racing side, specific to today and the nationwide, that would be Jeremy and the team and whatnot. But beyond that, I feel like I have a great staff of people. Whether that's Travis Geisler on the competition side, or even simple people like Michael Rivas, who handles day-to-day stuff for me, and bus drivers and doctors and all that. So it takes a whole team of people to keep it going, and I think they're all kind of instrumental to make that not so much a distraction as we hope it to be a benefit. And I think if we take nothing technical from today, which is always possible, at the very least, the physical challenge is good for me. It's a little bit of a warm-up. And the mental confidence of being able to win the day before is worth something. So I think for us, I don't expect that to be a problem. And I feel, like I said before, fortunate to have a great car to race the day before. Thank you.
Tom Jensen, then Chris Allen.
Tom Jensen,
Chris Knight, I'm sorry.
FoxSports.com.
Go ahead.
Congratulations, guys. I have two quick questions. Brad, how much, you addressed it a little bit, but how much really is there carryover winning this race versus finishing second?
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's something. I don't always know the answer beforehand. Sometimes you don't realize it till you get in the middle of the Cup race, or you don't even realize it at all, but you know it's there. I think for us, it's been constant that this program has helped to serve our interests at the Cup level, and so for that, I just look at the results, and it's hard to really pinpoint because I think it changes week to week, and even sometimes season to season. So, it's something. I don't know how to measure it or quantify it. It's kind of like advertising. It works. You just don't really know how to measure it, and so we're proud of this program accordingly.
Thanks. And one for Roger. You have the opportunity this year to win the Sprint Cup Drivers' Championship, the Nationwide Owners' Championship, and, of course, the IndyCar Championship. What would it mean to win all three in the same season?
Well, there's no question. If you're putting yourself in that position, it has to be the teammates and the people here sitting up here, on the stage and day in and day out. I mean, it would be a great thing for Penske Racer, Team Penske. We've been in this business a long time, but obviously when you look at the number of wins this year, I think it's our best year looking at today. And, when you think about, you asked the question about what does this do for us as we go forward. Jeremy Billings, Todd Gordon, all of the people who, Paul Wolf, they all came up through this program. So if we did nothing else, and I think that was Brad's really the equation he brought to the team here, a number of years ago. So let's bring these guys up so they know us. I guess we know the devil, and how these guys will work together. And I think we build a much more solid team that way rather than trying to go out and grab somebody from another team. This is a well-built team with a strong foundation and obviously a world-class driver.
Let's go to Chris, and then we'll hear from Reed, and then we'll go press box.
Chris Knight, CatchFence.com. Brad, congratulations on the win. As dominant as Kyle Busch was, he knew he was in trouble. He said when you got by him and going in 3 and 4, were you afraid that he might use the bumper you back coming to the checkered?
Well, they say that objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, and I was looking in the mirror, and I thought I had enough distance on him, but I wasn't sure. So I don't know how to answer your question, but I guess anything's possible.
Reed, go ahead, and then we'll go to press box.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. For both Brad and Roger, as car owners, do you think Chase Elliott needs another year of seasoning in Nationwide, or is he ready to take the next step?
He's a great young driver, and I think that he's got a mentor in his dad, which I'm sure will give him the right answer when it comes to where he goes next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it can hurt. I don't know enough to really answer about his particular situation, but I know winning a championship is a good thing, and he should be proud of that. And I think for today, that should be what he's thinking about and what everybody's talking about.
Press box, you have questions for this winning team.
Yes, two questions for Brad. First of all, congratulations, Wolfgang Monser from Germany, Rennsport Press Agency. Question number one, early in the race, I think it was around lap 50 or 60, you were about 0.6 seconds behind Kyle. Then 90, 100, 110 lap, it was 2.8, 2.4, 2.6. Was this traffic related or you were in a fuel saving mode? And question number 2, tomorrow you're in a different car, different race, longer distance. Nevertheless, does this race give you and your team any idea how to approach from the strategy point of view tomorrow's Sprint Cup race?
Well, the first question about fuel is, yeah, the fuel was very tight at the end, and we certainly did have to manage it, but also lap traffic was difficult to get through, and I think you'd see big swings in the gaps between cars based on how you get through lap traffic, Gunther. So, that's part of the racing. But, a longer race tomorrow certainly has an effect. The shadows here can be very, very difficult to drive with. And, you can probably see from out the press box how the shadows are coming down. Very difficult to see into turn 1. So that affects the track also with the speeds and the shade in the different corners. And, I would expect the longer race to have an impact with that, probably more so than anything else, and how that affects the cars and driving styles.
Press box, question, any more? I think we're good up there.
Clear.
Okay, absolutely. Let's go to Bob Pockris and then to Jenna. Okay.
Bob Pockris, Sporting News. Roger, were you happy that none of your guys were fined or penalized for the fight last week? And how did you feel about the way your team reacted to the whole situation?
Well, I was as far away from there as I could be in Australia. So, number one, I didn't see it firsthand. But I think Brad knew the situation he was in. He was on probation from the previous situation, and we had talked to our people and said, look, we've got to run the race. We're in the chase. The pressure cooker is getting hotter and hotter. And I take my hat off to our guys, didn't retaliate. And it's a shame because it was good racing. And I think it gets overblown when things like this happen. But, hey, we're in a sport that's got a lot on the line. When it's on the line, you're going to have drivers go for it. And quite honestly, having the crew guys and everybody pumped up, that's why they're there. So, to me, it was a day that maybe it's unfortunate in certain aspects, but we moved on, and I'm proud of my guys that, they kept their gloves off.
Jenna?
Jennifer, AP. I didn't recognize you there in a blue shirt instead of a white shirt. That's you, right, Roger? You put out a statement on Monday in support of Brad, which we all expect you to be, and you've used words like world-class driver and other glowing adjectives. I know you support him. Do you feel like you have to do that in the garage? Do you feel like, all this rhetoric that's come out this week and all these, it's all these people against Brad. Do you feel that really truly exists? And are you having to stand up for him in other places besides the media?
Well, I think, if we took a vote around the world on race drivers and took a look at what happened last week from the fans and other people, he made the right move. And I think as we started to unfold the specifics of last weekend, we saw that what he did was any other great driver would do. Look, I stand up for my drivers for good or bad, and I don't do it more for Brad or anybody else, but listen, he's world class out there. He's shown it day in and day out. He showed it again today, and I think that we got to move on, from that stuff. And as I said, look, tempers are going to flare. That's okay. And we just have to be sure that it's in a position where we don't get overboard. And I think our guys, from the standpoint of where they are, understood what's at stake last week and also this week. So to me, the garage area is a garage area. And, what I know is that the 350 people that work at Team Penske are 150% behind all our drivers, including Brad, and that's all I care for.
Nate Ryan.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Roger, even though I know you weren't here, I'm sure you kept up on the debate about ethics and racing this week and about how much respect means versus winning. When you look at racing mores, where do you fall on that? I mean, because you've got a professional business that's all about respect and treating customers right, but then again, you're also a race team owner. Where do you fall on the whole respect versus winning debate?
I'm not sure now that this thing turned into respect, at the end of the week. This is racing, and, quite honestly, we expect, a world-class driver, to go for it. And, from my perspective, this whole incident this past week from my business side of it was terrific. because at the end of the day, when people analyzed the situation, they saw the facts. And I think the facts, you know, you move on from those. And to me, I don't know ethics are even involved in it. I think it's a guy that's racing. He did his best. And to me, we moved on.
Final question right over there. I believe it's Dominic from New Mexico.
There we go, yes. So question for Brad. So out of all your nationwide wins, just want to ask you where this win ranks overall.
Yeah, it's hard to rank them. There's been a lot of really special ones. You know, this one is special for a lot of other reasons. You know, passing on the last lap is always cool. I think everybody enjoys that. You know, and this is my first win at Phoenix. It's a place where I've kind of notoriously not been able to close it out. So that's special. But I got the boss here. I got Jeremy here. It's last year, or last race for the year, driving the 22 car, and to put it in a strong position to go win the owner's title with Joey Logano next year. There's a lot of things that are special about today, and certainly winning in Phoenix, which is the home of Discount Tire, that's special for us as well. I think of that and say, well, honestly, without Discount Tire here, you know, this program could have been a lot different. You know, there's no Paul Wolf on the Cup side without Discount Tire and a lot of the other people that came along. So to be able to win in that backyard, that's very special. So there's a lot of things going on there, and you know, it's hard to really weigh it all out, but we'll just say it was really good.
Brad, Jeremy, Roger, congratulations on a very exciting win here today, and we look forward to some exciting racing here tomorrow at Phoenix.
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate it.